call to order the City of Pflugerville Parks and Recreation Committee meeting for Thursday, September 19th. It is 7:03 p.m. Citizens communication. The Commission welcomes comment on Parks and Recreation items. Public comment that is made on an item that is not on the published agenda will only be heard by the Commission. No formal action, discussion, or comment will be made. Each person providing public comment will be limited to 3 minutes and will be asked to state his or her name and address for the public record. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak? Nope. All right, item 3A, approval of minutes. Discuss and consider action to approve the minutes from the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting on August 15th, 2024. Did everyone get to read them?
They can approve them in one motion, or we can go for each, because we have.
Oh, yeah, okay. And the second one also is discuss and consider action to approve the minutes from the joint meeting with the Parks and Recreation Commission and Planning and Zoning Commission on September 11th, 2024. I don't think I saw those, but they should be very brief.
That was just where we opened it.
And closed it, yeah. Oh, here it is. Blah, 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 blah,
So one's the last actual Parks and Rec Commission meeting, and one's the meeting we held with the steering committee. That we had a quorum and they didn't, so we have enough.
Yep.
We have some more paperwork.
We need to call the meeting. All right. Do we have a motion to approve? I move to approve the minutes. Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Item 4A, discuss only. Discussion regarding director's update, including information about project status updates, upcoming special events, and staffing. Shay, take it away.
Surely I will.
Don't call me Shirley.
Too late.
Yeah, the one time you don't know my name.
That's right, yeah. Is it Lisa? Well, and then Jonathan's taking over for the first one.
So Jonathan Hansen, Rec Superintendent. This is our slide about the reoccurring programs update. They look very similar to last time. Not much has changed. Some of our instructors have moved around on the classes they're teaching, but the schedule is still the same. I do want to point out, you'll see the PF Seniors Security for Seniors. The next 3 classes coming up are Learning Chat GPT,
Fun.
Phishing and Common Scams, and then keeping your online profile life private. So some really good ones coming up.
I can book them for you.
I already know, even though I am a senior.
Next up is our upcoming programs and events. As you can see, it's a very busy month leading into our next meeting in October. So you'll see the PF seniors are traveling around. As a reminder, these trips are designed to get seniors out of the house, but also saving them from having to drive on the road. And the total number of miles saved for this month right here is 445 miles. So quite a bit of distance saved. You can see they're going to the Bluebell Creamery, which is in Brenham. Yeah, so that's quite a drive. So they'll be riding out there for that. You also see the bike rodeo. So the bike rodeo is being put on by our park rangers. And so it's going to start on October 5th out at 1849 Park. Cool chance to learn how to take care of your bike. They're going to have some I don't know if obstacle courses is the right word, but cone courses, I guess. It won't be like wipeout, but it'll still be fun. And then we do.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hopefully not. So helmets are required. So you can go to the next slide.
What is parking day?
Oh, parking day. I'm glad you brought
What is
that.
that?
So that is tomorrow. It is something, it's a worldwide event that happens. It was created by city planners, and the purpose of it is to turn a parking space into a park. And so hence the name park. It's technically park parentheses-ing day. So we are going to be doing that in downtown Pflugerville, next to the Best Little Plaza. And we are literally going to turn 4 parking spaces into a mini park. There are going to be free plants that we're going to give away. There'll be park benches. And then West Pecan actually is going to participate with us as well. And so they're going to save a spot. There's going to be artificial turf laid down, places to sit. And then you can get coffee and just hang out in your own little park. So
Is that in the key to the city? Is that how that's put out there? Because I've never heard of that.
So, yeah, it's something that the city had done previously, I think, more so maybe when Emily was the director, and then they haven't done it for a couple of years. But it's just a way to highlight that, in plazas or parking lots and other spaces, to highlight that spot for community, a spot for space. Most people do a parklet like we do, but you could also do another gathering style like a plaza or something. But it's just highlighting the importance of those, and it's the way that the planners wanted to really celebrate the day.
But my question is, does the public know about it?
It's in the key to the city.
That's what I'm asking, is what's in the key to the
It
city?
was.
and there was also a Facebook post
Yeah,
that
I was gonna say,
went out today as well. So.
Okay.
And I don't want to leave out our partners, our landscape architects that we use in the Parks Department, Studio 1619. They are working with us on this, so they helped us design this little mini park. So
Cool. Y'all do know that parking for some of these seniors meant something else back in the day?
What did it mean?
I don't know, I'm not old enough.
Gotcha. We'll just have to
I'll
research it.
text you, Shane.
Covered
On
wagons.
city laptops or something?
I'll text you on your city phone.
What did
next up is the Parks for Pollinators Bio Blitz. So if you're looking for something to do this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10:30 in the Best Little Plaza, we're going to have a Impacting Change Gardening for Native Pollinators, hosted by our friends at the Monarch Sanctuary Project with Sonia. She's going to be out there doing education on how to create your own native landscape in your backyard. Plus, there are free plants and seeds that she is giving away. So another opportunity for some pollinator plants there. It is first come, first serve, no registration required, but if you show up late, you may not get any seeds. Also on Saturday, it's a busy weekend for us. We have the annual cardboard boat regatta, quite a mouthful. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. at Gillen Creek Pool. It is free, and it is free to come watch, which is what I'm going to do. But if you would like to participate, the open divisions, both doubles and singles, are for adults. And then we have the youth divisions as well. So
Stan and I are in them. One.
I'm not with you.
I was gonna say how long you will.
All right, did you know
Boat
I'm
together.
enrolled?
You're in it?
Yes, I'm enrolled. My living room is full of cardboard and duct tape.
Is it really? You're doing it.
My son.
Hey, you don't want me in it? That's great.
He didn't ask.
Yeah.
No.
there are 75 people registered, so Stan's one of them. So.
My son, who turns 25 tomorrow, and I are
Oh, y'all are doing it.
Oh,
That's
wow,
fun.
that's awesome.
So
I had a friend, she's done it every year, and last year I think she kicked her husband out of it and said he was too much.
There you go. She's now starting to recruit a more
Oh, that's
streamlined partner, huh?
It's like a bobsled team.
That's right,
so
bobsled
I'm
team.
a little worried about 450 pounds.
That'd be great.
Lots of duct
What
tape.
could possibly go wrong?
Bike repair stations, so we've got 20. They'll be installed
Oh,
in
yeah, I
phases.
saw that.
Yeah, that's great. That's right there at Luna
nice.
Park.
Got the first one at Pfluger.
Yeah.
Then we have where the BMX trail is off the Pecan Trail. We'll have one. Finnig will have one. Windermere will have one, and then the Heritage Loop, essentially right outside of where the QT is, off Old Austin Hutter Road. We'll have our 5th. That'll be our first 5 of 20. So we're very excited. They come with air pumps, which is the smaller apparatus you see right there, where you can pump up your bike. But there's also tools that are attached, and they're all attached by chain. But there's sockets, wrenches, screwdrivers, different types of drivers that you can do to just tweak or maintenance your bike.
I saw that one in Gillen, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or
Great
Pfluger,
idea.
sorry.
I apparently missed it. I was just.
Right there by the restrooms.
Yeah, it's right by the
It's
restroom.
right by the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what it looked like from the pictures.
We're excited to get them out there and have people start using them. The Stonehill Sport Multi-Court, which we've talked about in the past, but now you're starting to see the fruits of that labor ultimately, and we're excited. We had told y'all previously, I think the grand opening was September 7th or 17th, or disappointment, whatever it was. Today's the 17th. Oh, no, that would have been June. Yeah, so it's 7th. And then if I'd have laid out a 3-month calendar and said, as long as it doesn't rain these 3 areas, we'll be fine. It rained those 3 areas. So it bumped back the first coating of the, essentially the first base, which then we had to redo, and then it bumped back the second layer, and that bumped into some other issues because you've got these artists that are working on this, and they have other projects they've booked, and so we're excited to see this come to fruition. But you can see,
Oh,
Looks
that's
good.
cool.
Yeah.
and what's cool about it, when we're excited about it, these photos are from this week. The other photos were from a previous week. Is that, you got the apartment complex right there, and there are kids, and everyone's starting to see this come to life as well, and everyone's super excited that there's a basketball court there. Under the basketball goals is those telescoping soccer goals, which are on a hydraulic. A kid can do it with one hand, and they'll be able to play soccer or lacrosse or inline hockey as well as basketball in these spots. And so, and you're seeing this beautiful mural come to life that's being sponsored by Austin FC, and there's no other court like this in the country. So it's been labor of love. We've been working with Studio 1619 to use developer funds and partnerships in the area to pull this off, and from start to finish, we've probably been working on this 2.5 years from just the idea moving forward. So it's very exciting to see it.
What does it look like at night? Can you still see the features?
If you close your eyes. We'll have some lights. You can see. We'll have 4 post lights, but it'll look like that, just darker. What was your question?
Can you see like the free throw line and stuff still on there?
Not yet. That'll be coming as well.
Okay.
So once the muralist does all their art, the company that would have just done the court, if we were just regular Parks and Rec department, will come back around and then do the court lines on top of it.
And there's darker shades that haven't been added to that. There's a lot of black incorporated that's not on there yet. But the way that they situated it, the lines for the basketball court will be on spaces that you can see it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on.
Oh, that's cool.
Zoo Park. So we're going to be replacing the 2 to 5 and 5 to 12 playgrounds with some shade structures and some new playground structures and some pour and play surfacing in parts of it. It's also getting new fitness equipment that'll be around the tree in the middle of the park, and then we're converting all the DG trails to concrete, and that's happening right now. And Cambridge Heights, which is the next park next to it, we had the HOA reach out to us, and they're like, "Why'd you take down both of our parks at the same time?" And the kiddos are definitely asking, and we get it, but we are using, this is a $1.3 million improvement in 2 pocket parks, but we're using funds that are leaving us quickly. So developer funds that have a time limit and American Recovery Act funds. So we really couldn't stack them in such a way due to the timelines of some of these grant funding that we just had to knock them out at the same time. And oh no, what have we done? We don't, what's the chances it just shuts it down? Okay. So Cambridge is also getting a 2 to 5 in shade, and we're converting that DG trail to concrete. But on top of that, at Cambridge, we're doing that challenge course that we showed you, that ninja style warrior course that we showed you a couple months back. So some really cool improvements to that part. It's an older part of our community that sings some whole new play value brought to it. Woolbar Creek, this is the dog park with the trail and the restrooms and the huge parking lot. And so you'll see the dog park's gonna have a small and large dog area, trail connections, additional parking and a restroom facility. It's part of the 2020 bond for the neighborhood parks portion of that program, and it's a $3.7 million project.
Any shade?
There'll be some shade in the dog park,
There will be shade
and
in
then
the
there's a
dog park.
lot of trees in
And
this
the
area.
trail
Oh,
that goes
nice.
along the creek and the trees.
And
So it's gonna be a really
there's
good
so
nature-based trail.
much trees that
Yeah.
we did lighting, not just for a standard, but because if we hadn't the way the trails are set up and the way that it's right off the MOCAN, there's almost no bleed over from the lights of the community, you know, like the street lights. So it will get at times pretty dark in there without those lights, so we'll have those lights as well. Parking lot will have lights. You can see the parking lot. Here, this is an aerial from July. And you can see the dog park and the trail that's connecting to north portion of the park that ultimately is Wilbur Creek North, which we did off of the bond in 2018. You can see how everyone's gonna access that. What's that street, Junior?
That's Cascades.
North Cascades. And the parking lot here, parking lot will be well lit, bathroom is here. Like I said, dog park area is not there yet. It's the ground area is starting to be site prep for it.
Where is this at?
Island Park.
Island Park.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is
It's a
that
great park.
railroad? Wait,
This is
Pflugerville
This is
Parkway.
Pflugerville Parkway. This is that little circle, and then railroad would be over here. somewhere.
over there, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Great park.
I love that neighborhood. I run through that
Yeah,
neighborhood all the
parks.
time. I'm very excited now to
Yeah,
have a
All the
park to
stuff
run in.
that's already there to the right along.
This is the MOCAN right here.
Yeah.
And so this is where that neighborhood is, all those streetlights, but with those MOCAN trees, and then all of this type of growth from from this neighborhood, it's just real dark in that spot. So we're gonna have lights all the way throughout and in the parking lot itself. There's the parking lot, portions of that, what it's gonna look like.
And we're exploring ways to connect that across the creek as well, so that there's additional connection where that.
Yeah,
kinda cut out
potentially
right there.
maybe trying to find some connection point here, or if we can plumb in through here, somewhere, this is that Mirror Lake portion.
Okay.
So trying to figure out if we can get, because these folks will either have to walk all the way down, or they'll have to walk all the way up to north, the north section and hit the trail that's gonna connect through. But there is, that's a governmental body of water that we've got to cross, and so there's some issues with, we gotta talk to whatever FEMA-related group oversees that creek system, and there's a couple things that we'll have to mitigate to get across there, but that's one of the goals, some connection point somewhere. US Waterways, something?
I thought there was a cut through, cause I live
There is
in.
one, there is one.
Yeah, cause I was in that neighborhood when we first moved to Pflugerville, and I remember us
There-
walking.
It may still be owned by them though. We may
Oh,
have
okay.
to
Oh.
Yeah,
still
yeah.
get their permission. Yeah, I'd imagine there's some dry creek spots, but for us to make it where it's actually.
No, like it was
No, there's
paved.
there's one concrete trail across the creek
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's in between.
Further up?
Lacey and Great Basin.
It's over by
It's where
the
old
Mirror
water
Lake.
tank used to be.
Oh, it's closer to Mirror Lakeside. Yeah, we're trying to find something
Yeah,
closer to
Yeah,
ours. Yeah.
southern, yeah.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
Yeah, you're talking about one that's up here.
It's go to the left, right there.
Yeah,
That's it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
isn't that
Yeah.
far? Isn't the exit that far?
but everyone's still gonna have to walk the whole length to be able to,
Yeah.
get on. There's a restroom at the facility. On the lights.
When is it expected to be complete?
It was December before we added the dog park, right?
Yeah, I think it moved back to April. Yeah, couldn't get confirmation on the specific time frame, but it would move back 90 days from December.
And I say add dog park, it had a dog park, but it had much more of a dog park like we had at Stonehill, which was just grass. This dog park that we ultimately took to them was an upgrade, I think it was $300,000.
300 additional.
And that had DG and artificial turf in some areas, it had some
Mounds,
mounds,
some
play
play value for
structures
dogs.
for the dogs. Concrete ribbon all the way around, so folks that either needed some sort of ADA access or just had limited mobility could still get all the way around the park, try to convince their dog to leave the dog park at some point, versus having to just go out on the different surfaces or the grass itself. So, and there were some other concrete areas added as well. So we've beefed it up to make it a much better experience for everyone.
Yeah, its aim is to be a regional draw rather than just local draw. So what's the dog park that everyone talks about?
Wells Branch.
Yeah, everyone will drive to, and people in Pflugerville will drive to that. So our aim is to.
Or Wells Branch has a nice one, then Cedar Park has a nice one.
Cedar Park's the nicest
Cedar
one
Park's the one
that
I was
I've been to.
thinking,
Yeah, yeah.
We use the artists from Wells Branch, so that the multi-surfaces that they used at the Wells Branch Dog Park, they incorporated that. for
It's a
this.
nice dog park.
Are we putting in, like what they did to section off the grass? They have it to where they can open it and it's 2 sections, so if the grass is getting too worn on one section, they close it off?
Well, I mean, we'll have a small dog, large dog that I guess we could try to do that in some ways to give it rest, but we don't have in this space. We still need to design a dog park that has enough footprint that a portion of it could be rehabbing while the other portion is
Right.
being used.
Okay.
We've yet to get that far along in our dog park design.
Sad day.
I
I'll
know.
probably be dead before it happens.
We'll name it after you.
Thank you.
Happy part of the tapes over there.
Upcoming projects, we're working on Falcon Point right now. Falcon Point, we'll have playground, safety surfacing, shade, and we're going to be expanding into a berm area that will artificial turf, and that berm will have a slide. That park will be the park that gets us to 100% shade coverage in our park system, and will bring our average age of all of our play equipment under 5 years of age. So
Nice.
we're excited about that. That one goes to council next week for approval.
And how about the swing set that's there at that park? Are you guys gonna do anything with that?
We'll have
'Cause
swings added.
when the kids are on there, the posts are coming out of the ground.
Oh,
They're shaking, they're bouncing, they're moving,
We're gonna,
and all that.
we're removing
Yeah.
we're gonna remove that but we'll have swings with the new design.
There'll be new
Okay.
swings.
Yeah.
You're
Won't
gonna,
be swings
you're gonna
for a couple
remove
months.
it before,
Yeah.
before some child is hurt, right?
I mean, they're deep, I can tell
Oh,
they're
yeah.
deep, but the whole
Yeah.
concrete post down there is moving.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna topple over anytime soon.
Junior and his guys have seen it. They're on it. We've been trying to see if we can Band-Aid it so it can still provide that value until we get to the new one, but I think we're getting to the point where we're gonna have to replace it or pull it. And then 1849 Park, we have a couple of phases there. We have phase 1, which is the soccer and football fields. Soccer fields have lights and has mostly a full parking lot. It got most of its capacity in the first round of that improvement coming off the bond in 2018 or 2016. It was open in 2018. The football field side got limited parking capacity, about 30% of what should have been the capacity of that parking lot, and did not get field lights. So Jeff and his team are working on getting lights to the football field and filling out the parking lot itself of both the last 10% of the soccer and the 60% of the football field parking. But with that comes some drainage improvements because we're adding more concrete and surfacing and more areas for water to run off. So we have to collect it and engineer it correctly out. And so that is phase 1. It's really 1B. And then phase 2 is the 3 baseball/softball fields, the special event line, the concession stand, the parking lot, the food court areas where we'll be able to host some food trucks.
Now, currently, there's a pavilion out there. Is that where you're putting the baseball fields? Is that going east or is that going north?
You know how you're driving, you have to make that 90-degree
Mhm.
turn?
Yeah,
The baseball fields are straight.
okay.
You would drive straight.
So that would be east then, from the
Technically, it's
pavilion.
both, northeast, yeah.
Okay.
There's a rendering that'll kind of show a little bit.
Okay, yeah, there it is, there it is. I should have waited.
Jeff, you want to walk them through any of it?
Yeah, I mean, so the bottom portion of the screen on the left you see is kind of what's existing and where the trail will come from, so people can walk from what's there to this space, and then that drive coming up kind of the middle of the screen goes into the parking from the existing 1849. And so you've got 3 fields. I think they're 225, but attention, I can't see it for that. I think all 3 of them are 225.
Yeah, these say 225.
And so, yeah, on a 225-foot field, you'll be able to go like all the way up 14U baseball and all the way up in softball. So you'll notice the one in the middle is a softball field. So they'll be able to be kind of modular. You can play baseball on a softball field and softball on a baseball field. And then concessions, play area right in the middle of it. And then the top left, that looks like an Easter egg, that's the event lawn. So we'll be able to do some events and additional things out there. And, you know, if a group that's using those fields wants to use that for some additional festivities, they can. I've been trying to talk everyone into moving the Easter egg hunt there and painting that to look like an Easter egg.
That'd be awesome.
I haven't gotten a lot of buy-in on that idea yet, so we'll see. But yeah, so we are starting construction on that in the next 2 weeks. So they'll start breaking ground here shortly, and they've got our contractor put in a 290-day construction timeline, so fairly quick. Hoping for fall 2026. We might be able to do some practices and stuff like that, but it may be a little late to get anything else really out there. But spring 2027, it'll be fully open.
Now, what's the purpose? Is it for Little League? Is it for tournaments? Is it for?
Soft have tournaments with just 3 fields.
Yeah.
We are going to be potentially taking 3 more fields back to council. That would have a miracle field, 1 larger field, and another softball field, with potentially some pickleball if we're able to source some funding for that. And that would come, you know, between now and the grand opening of this place, whatever that is. Trying to see if there's some funding for that. If we could have 6 fields out there, that would get us closer to.
The difference between, and technically it would be 5 for tournament play, because the 6 is the miracle field. And the miracle field is like the surfacing that a wheelchair can be on, so it could be a t-ball field, or it could be a special needs program could be out there. But 5 fields doesn't sound like much more than 3, but it is. It is, and you know, it won't bring a huge tournament compared to Round Rock with their 30 field complex, but it would be able to bring in, you know, a few divisions. I think in terms of tournament play, these are going to be really, really nice fields, even though it's a small complex. So we're thinking there may be some partnership opportunities if someone's hosting a tournament at Northeast Metro, they play some of their championship games here. But really a 3-field complex compared to a 5-field complex is drastically different in terms of what a tournament director is looking for.
And we're just trying to get some fields that
Yes. It's a
that can
start.
offset the struggle that Pflugerville area youth baseball, softball is dealing with, and just accommodate their growth. We're going to be working on a field feasibility study. We're going to be talking to all of our current user groups and saying, okay, what are you using right now? What do you need right now? What do you think your 5-year and your 10-year output's going to look like? What will you need? And so we're going to find out how deficient we are, and then go back to council with a plan and say, okay, the next bond, it looks like between the baseball and the softball and the soccer and the football we're serving, plus the cricket and the rugby and the whatever out there that we don't know about yet or that we're not serving well yet, we need blank more. We need 7 more fields or 8 more fields or 7 rectangles and 3 more diamonds or whatever it is to make our ability to serve the community what they're expecting. And so
Tell me about the amphitheater in terms of, and I'm trying to wrap my head around exactly where 1849 Park is. So if I have streets to go by, or north, south, east, west, what's it close to?
that's Cameron Road.
Cameron Road.
Just
Those
taking
curves.
it past where you would go off to the lake, but you keep going like you're going out
Yeah,
to the backside of 973, I guess.
okay.
And there's that huge sports complex that has,
That's plenty.
That's
Right
it.
there.
And for
I'll
some
GPS it.
clar-
So tell me about the amphitheater.
So I was just gonna say on the amphitheater, so that's more of just an event lawn space. There's an amphitheater, actually, what you would think of when you think of an amphitheater in phase 3 of 1849, which is north of the creek line. So
Back
this
towards
may not be
Cornell.
full-on amphitheater in the way that we would typically think about it.
How many seats are you looking at, and is it?
that's just an open
No
lawn.
seats for this one. This is just an open, flat lawn.
Good try.
So will
Now-
people bring their chairs? Will they be allowed to put chairs on there,
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
sure,
take
yeah.
your
or? Okay,
chairs.
so it's not gonna hurt you.
Like you have
Yeah.
like this, so here's the thought process of this. So you see this looks almost like a 4-field complex. The problem with 4-field complexes is there's no spot for the folks that are coming in and the folks that are leaving. And so every one of these teams, so 6 teams total, are all gonna want a spot where they can warm up and stretch and maybe soft toss, long toss. And so this area provides you a great opportunity. And then when it's not being used in the baseball, softball complex, it's available on a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday to host a concert, you know, some sort of poetry reading or some sort of gathering where you can have you have a stage here and you can have 200, 300 people and they can all sit out and then that concession stand, the restrooms are right there. And so,
How big is the stage? What the plans are?
I'd have to look.
yeah.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was a flat concrete space that we would be able to set up.
That our stage could drive up to, yeah, and we could put our stage mobily out.
Not the big stage, but the Dorchenfest stage.
The
Not-
stage that we own, not the stage we rent.
Not the one that we used at Slice.
Right, no.
Okay, I know we didn't own that. Okay.
So I got a question about the amphitheater. On the master plan, there was an amphitheater at Lake Pflugerville on the southeast corner at one
Yeah.
time. Has that gone away?
No.
Or is that taking the place of this, or is this taking the place of that, or?
Great question. So when you see those things on those master plans, they're obviously conceptual.
Yes,
Lake Pflugerville, that side of Lake Pflugerville development is going to see an expansion from Pfluger Parkway. So what you see right now is 2 roads, is gonna be 4 roads. And they don't have any way to expand on the side where the development and the farmers are because
Right.
of all the infrastructure that is
the high voltage lines?
yeah. So they're having to go on to our side. So we're losing a portion of our section that right now we use for parking. So if you could imagine what the parking looks like on the south side of Lake Pflugerville and all those limestone blocks that prevent you from going in and that road base, most of that will now be the road. That'll be what people are driving on. So then we're going to find some parking off that, but now we're further into our green space than we were previously. So we're waiting for the complete expansion of Pflugerville Parkway so we can see its full impact before we start to do any type of designs on the southern side of Lake Pflugerville. So any Lake Pflugerville improvements right now will happen back to the north, whether it's, I don't think we have much more room for parking lot improvements. I know we'd love to have more parking space, but I don't think we can go much further into that neighborhood without them getting upset, and we can't go much further south before we actually lose our parkland and get on the utility side, the dam side of that, where all that engineering has to be left open so it can casually allow that water to flow out when needed. So we're kind of limited in parking, but we can expand the beach. We can put some hardscapes, do playground stuff. We can also go to the western side where there's the boardwalk and the nature center. So you'll see those in the next steps of the development. Ultimately, the southern portion of the lake will develop. It will have a playground, probably have restrooms and parking, and maybe even an amphitheater. But it'll be further down the road when we can fully assess the impact of that parking lot. I mean the parkway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Back to me. So I want just to give you a heads up on some upcoming permitted events. So the Para Endurance Triathlon, this is a triathlon for athletes with special needs or disabilities. And so they were at Gillen Creek Pool today doing a swim training. They will be on Friday at Northeast Metro doing a bike training. And then they'll be out at Lake Pflugerville doing just a test swim to get used to the lake. Saturday, they will be at Lake Pflugerville, kind of dry running the entire race. And then Sunday is race day. And so the lake will be closed off, that parking lot that Shane was talking about for this event. The athletes have, many different accommodations. There's some that are blind that have a partner who runs, rides, swims alongside them. There are some that are amputees, and so they have different methods. Some may even be on the hand cycles. So it's going to be really cool to see that come here to Pflugerville. It'll be the first sanctioned USAT para event here in Texas.
They had at least 30-something signed up.
Yeah, they have
last
about 30 athletes signed
Cool.
up. So, yeah, it's a really cool permitted event. We also have Pflugerville Pride coming up, which is on October 5th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. in downtown Pflugerville. October 5th is a very busy day because that morning is Coffee and Fuel. And then after Coffee and Fuel is over, the Pecan Street Collective is out there. And then after the Pecan Street Collective is done, Pflugerville Pride will be out there. So downtown will be busy that weekend. And then we have the Fear Haunted House, which is coming up. So they're going to be building out there starting early October. They build a literal haunted house. They're going to be at 1849 Park, and they'll operate the haunted house on October 24th, 25th, 26th, 30th, 31st, and November 1st from 7 to 10.
Is that the house that was on?
Gin track.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was at the Gin Track last year. This year we're moving them out to 1849 Park, and there'll be details posted online by this is a permitted event, so it's not a city event. But the organizer will be putting information about tickets and things like that on Facebook and other places. So they're going to allow about 150 people to enter the house each night, and it takes about 90 seconds to go through the entire thing, depending on how scared you get. So
90 seconds.
I
Like
had
a
the
roller
nerves to
coaster.
scream.
yeah.
I went through there and I screamed with all of these kids.
Was it
And I was the only
90
person that got scared.
Sprinting through.
You need to record her for next year.
That's right.
So we also have 2 Music in the Parks coming up. October is a very busy month with Deutschenfest going on, so I wanted to make sure and put both of these in here. The Music in the Park for Sunday, September 22nd. September is National Hispanic Heritage Month, and so we are going to have the Ranch Road Band out at Music in the Park. And then we have Alexia Dalton playing our last Music in the Park of the year on October 27th. We have Rock the Block. So on September 13th, we had Learn to Swim, which was a Tool cover band, come out and play. This is our second Rock the Block. This is the first year we've ever done it. On average, a Friday night in downtown Pflugerville is somewhere between 750 to 1,000 people. And our Placer AI data shows that we had 1,500 visits during the time of our event.
And the first one we had.
1,800.
Yeah.
So I will say, I don't think any of the 1,500 people who came to this one came to the last one.
2 different.
Yeah, it's
crowds.
very different crowds. And to kind of speak on that a little bit more, on October 11th is Diamond Days, which is a Van Halen cover band. So it may be another totally different 1,500 people that are out there. And then Deutschenfest, like I said, October's a busy month for us. It's coming up on October 18th and 19th. Reminder, it is a 2-day event. Tickets are available and posted online. You can see this is our event poster on the right side. So this year is featuring Bart Crow, and you get to sample Ranch Road Band at Music in the Park and then get a full show from them at Deutschenfest. We'll have all the stuff that you expect: music, food, artisan booths, the fun run, carnival games, and a beer garden brought to you by Explore Pflugerville. So they are sponsoring that area. So come out and enjoy the fun times.
If you're on Texas Monthly or
So,
Texas
is it-
Highways, you'll see the
Yes.
ads. Yeah.
Is it a Rotary and them then, or for?
Rotary will be there. Pride will be there with a booth, and then Pflugerville Parks Foundation will be there with a booth.
Okay.
So a couple of new nonprofits.
Yes.
Rotary is always working with
Yeah. I know they.
Growler, so that's a group. And they may, because they're excited enough about the beer garden concept, they may only do their one big booth.
Okay.
And then, so that, that still has, Rotary would have done 2, and Haas did one last year, so we'll still have 3 booths, but it'll be Rotary with their big booth. Pride will be new this year, and then Pflugerville Parks Foundation.
Okay.
And the whole point of that beer garden is we want to bring the focus internally, so they're not having to catch people just like, oh, this is the first booth I see, I'm going to go. This will have a built-in crowd, because inside that beer garden, we're going to do a bunch of contests. That's where the pretzel eating contest, the Stein holding. We're going to do a new one this year called the Hammerschlagen, which is essentially a nail drive competition.
Oh.
I was gonna talk, that was one of the things I was
I'm not
thinking
sure how
about.
far we are along on the keg squat, but that was mentioned at 1.2. And then for any of our UT or Georgia fans, we will be showing the game in the beer garden as well. So you don't have to give up your. It's
You can still watch it.
Yeah, Guten Tag, y'all. It's Texas and German. You can
That's right.
listen to German music and watch the football game.
Hey, Chelsea, have y'all talked about having people to talk about the foundation? Volunteers?
So, yeah, we've been thinking about it a lot, how we're gonna handle like volunteer type things, manning the booth. We're still talking to Prost related to
Well,
that as
I
well.
mean, they'll be manning the booth to sell beer, but I'm just wondering, have you talked about having people just to talk about the Pflugerville Parks, people like you guys or us or anybody who knows stuff
Yeah,
about the park?
I mean, we're like planning to, cause we were at like thinking about, do we have two booths? One that's, where all the like the city booths are. Right now,
Right.
we're wanting to focus efforts on just one location, so we'll be with Prost, but we'll be talking to people probably, like walking around the beer garden area.
Yeah, I think Pride's gonna try to sell some merch, at their booth and.
Yeah,
I
we're
think-
looking at merch right now. We're talking to printing company to have stickers and
What was
shirts and
that?
stuff.
I'm making sure I'm clear on when the nonprofits.
That's what I was
'Cause
gonna
last
ask.
year, was it nonprofits were only on Sunday or something like that? Is
Oh,
that-
yeah, so that spot where the churches and Hazel and any of those groups that in the past,
Right,
years ago, would have had a booth somewhere in the containment of the thing, and then we put them at the community fair area. That used to be Sunday, it's now Saturday. The fun run will be Saturday, and the community fair will be Saturday, and they kick off the thing, so they'll have time before Deutsche Fest is open, where the fun run's happening, where the community fair's happening, we'll have bounce houses and
Community performers.
Growler Bar, and all those folks will be there. And then when that dies down, they'll all be able to walk into the Pfluger Park portion of it and kind of front load the Deutsche Fest event as well.
Depending on how fast or slow that you run, you could almost literally run right into Deutschen Fest. So that would probably be me because I'm very slow.
I still had to figure out where this is, where you're talking about, because I'm thinking,
Are we using the same route as last year?
At that fitting.
So it's the trail that runs from like Gilliland Creek through Pfluger Park down through Finnig, and then there's you
Goes
go
into
under a
Windermere.
bridge, and it goes all the way to Grand. So I think they had it start at Finnig Park, and you went all the way to Grand and back.
I'm not sure why I'm getting that answer, because that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you where are the nonprofits gonna
They're
have.
at the start
Oh,
of
at
that run.
Finnig Park.
Okay.
Finnig Park.
I thought you were
I'm not
asking.
running. I'm not even walking.
Yeah,
I've got 3 nonprofits. I'm trying to tell them this is where you're gonna be.
so this is where the nonprofits
Got
are.
it.
Finnig, the Pfluger run runs there and runs back, and it ends in that spot in Finnig Park.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, take this slide. So if you see 1-2/24, your term is ending at the end of this year. Some of you can reapply. Some of you, after a cease and desist letter, won't be able to.
Protective order.
Yeah.
Restraining order?
Yeah.
If you see 1-2/25, you have nothing to worry about. You can just ignore this slide altogether.
So what is the term limit?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Well,
No, the term limit is
Oh,
3
sorry.
2-year.
You
Yeah.
serve 2 years. You can do that 3
Oh,
times.
3 times.
You can
Lisa's
actually
already
do
done it.
more than 6 years
All right.
if you're an alternate.
Yeah, because
Like,
my first.
Chelsea was an alternate this year, right? No, last year?
No,
No?
Melissa.
No,
You're
I-
full. Okay, somebody was. Okay, her.
Most of this year.
So technically, if she gets on full-time
Right.
in January,
Yeah.
she can do 2 and have 7 years.
Yeah,
Which is-
Yeah.
right.
That's
'Cause
what I
my
did,
first,
yeah.
my first term was a year because I was replacing the student.
Yeah, you were replacing
the
someone.
student.
Yeah, and that happens too.
Okay.
Sad day.
It's like what,
End
how
of an
long it
era.
took my dad to get out of college, 7 years. We call it the Kim Ice plan.
Oh,
He came out of Kim Ice plan.
This
It's okay, you got out, didn't he?
That's right.
December will be the end of
so
my
do we
fourth
reach out to you if we
year.
wanna, I mean, I guess we'll just like
Yeah, we
refill
just
out
apply,
the application.
when the applications come out, and November or December, we just apply then.
Yeah,
And
city
then
secretary's
You gotta make
office will
sure
reach
it'll
out to
show
you.
up to the,
Yeah.
meeting,
City council
the city
meeting.
When
council
there's a council
meeting.
meeting, they'll like to talk to you.
Yes, definitely show up to the council meeting.
Yeah,
Even if you're sicker than a dog and have a sinus infection. Learn from, yeah, my
Show up.
mistake.
There you go.
Yeah, I was surprised. They actually asked me questions the
Yeah.
second
Oh,
time.
yeah.
yeah, no, they
Damn, I
are,
already
yeah.
did this. What more do you want?
Yes,
How have you grown in this? It's like,
Half inch.
It was a trick question.
yeah.
it was. I hadn't grown. It's like, I gotta say no, but I can say.
They were trying
You
to
said you had hair when you started.
They were trying to put me on Deutschenfest instead.
Yeah, you're like,
I was like, no.
Well, my first time around, it was down to me and Ray.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Dr. Taylor, I see you have a doctorate in German. How would you like to be on the Deutschen Fest?
You can be the greeter at the beginning of the park.
Thank you, Doug Weiss.
So coming and goings, Cummings, we have a trail intern, Logan. He wants to be an engineer, city planner someday. It's been great to work with so far. He's been doing a lot of cool stuff for us.
Yeah, he's been mapping our trails. He uses one of the Ranger bikes. And he's also been doing opposition research by visiting other cities around us and learning about their trail master plans
And
and
he
their
makes fun of their
trails.
trails in front of them.
Yeah.
Like, how many miles of trails do you have? That's embarrassing.
Hands out the Trail Capital of Texas stickers to him. So
What's the chimichurri stick thing going on?
that's his favorite food.
Okay.
And then what he likes to do.
It's his nickname in high school.
What he likes to do in his free time is learning how to make cities better as a typical planner or engineer would.
Good get. And then our going, so Vanessa was a part-timer, but she worked for us for a couple years, and did some really impactful
Nice.
programming. She started the tea garden.
Yep. She was a big part of the Pollinator BioBlitz last year, which helped us get the scholarship money to be able to start that tea garden.
The walk out at the lake.
Yeah, the Feathered Friends Walk.
But she found an opportunity for full-time work as a student success coordinator, and we wish her well.
That's right. She was the one who was promoting the walks on Facebook.
Yeah.
To the Travis County Birds Group.
Yes.
Yeah, she was great. She was a really good employee. So, and that
Can I ask one last question? This is actually like related to the first slide.
on discussing.
We don't have to go back to the first slide though.
Discussing.
Wow.
Anyways, so the Tuesday farmers market. Has there ever been any like discussions on moving that to like a weekend?
There have.
Cause it was, I completely forgot that it moved over there, and I took my kiddo over there in the park, and the barn, and a food truck, and I was just like, this is, like, it was so cool, but it felt like a little bit of a missed opportunity not having on a weekend, where
Sure.
I feel like there'd be so much more attendance. So I was just curious. I know that there's the West Pecan, but it's on a certain day,
Yep.
so I was just curious.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. We did a survey of the folks that are attending. The folks that are attending now, and the problem is if every one of us were a city in the Austin area, and you said you can do whatever farmers market time you want, I think most of y'all would say Saturday morning, 9 to noon. And that's great if all of us have 30 of our own vendors, but what's more likely is there's about 30 vendors total, and they go to you on Wednesdays, and me on Sundays, and you on Saturdays, and you on Tuesdays, and so when you say, I'm gonna move to a Saturday market, would you be willing to move over with us? They say, we love your market, but we go to Austin, or we go to Cedar Park, we go to one of these big ones, right? And so, when I was in Hutto as the director there, we had a Wednesday market. When I got here, we have a Tuesday market, and if you wanna stand up a Saturday market, you absolutely can. There's nothing stopping us, not in our codes or our programs and procedures. We probably couldn't do it at the barn because that's a rental facility, and that would get a lot of renting on Saturday. But we could stand it up somewhere, maybe downtown east when the new rec center opens up, you could see something there. But the folks we have on Tuesday, most of those, unless we could just promise some sort of huge turnout, wouldn't leave the guaranteed revenue they're getting at whatever their Saturday market is. So unless they would split and double their efforts and, whatever two people are working out, each one do one, but then they have two sets of goods they have to produce and two sets of areas they have to set up and break down. And so I think everyone that has a weekday market would love a weekend market, but we're at least the third or fourth biggest market most of our vendors go to during the week already. So to
Yeah.
ask them to move to Saturday would make them also say they
Couldn't do
they
it.
couldn't do it. They would probably stay with us on Tuesday, but our Saturday market would look totally different.
And just to tag off of that, even the company that runs the market that we third-party contract out to, we are one of 3 cities that they run a market in, and so the other 2 are on different days than us. So they're running markets 3 different days in Central Texas.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. It'd be cool. I think we open up downtown East, we have that really cool plaza. We have a huge attraction of people that would be there potentially. We maybe start off doing a Pecan Street Collective type event where it's one Saturday, first Saturdays of every month, and third Saturdays of every month. And if you saw something like that grow, there may be, Austin's growing, this area is growing, there may be more opportunities in the future. But when we did our survey, more than 75% of the folks that we use on the Tuesdays said they wouldn't be available on the Saturdays. So it would be, they would stay with us on Tuesdays, but Saturdays they go somewhere else. And so
Yeah.
instead of having 30, we have maybe 8 built in. So now we're trying to source 22 Saturday vendors when most of anyone that you would actually want to buy from on a Saturday are already spoken for in one of those spots. So it'd be 22 brand new vendors that maybe have never done this before, or maybe they're chomping at a bit to break in, but that's a really tough ask to grow quickly.
No, that makes sense.
Hi.
It's a good question.
Working at the farmer's market, on average, there's only about 8 to 10 people set up every Tuesday
Yeah.
when I'm there. So it wouldn't be a big loss.
If we just said, screw all you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's good to know.
I got a question. What's the collective? I've heard that a couple of times today. What is that?
So,
And who?
yeah.
Yeah.
So West Pecan Coffee
Okay.
has gone through and gotten a permit from the city? Yeah.
From planning.
From planning, to once a month hosts vendors out in the space outside of their area. So if you show up on the first Saturday of every month, you'll see the car show that we run. You'll also see anywhere from 12 to 30 potential vendors
Okay.
in their parking lot.
And I've seen that. Yeah.
That is the collective.
Okay.
That's what
And
they.
Style and Spot is out in their
Yeah.
front, and then United Partners, they're part of that too.
Yeah. So that is what they call, the collective is what they, now that you're in the know, you can call it the collective. But it's the West Pecan
Mine was
Collective.
collective
Right, yeah,
question.
it's their market, they call it the West
Okay.
Pecan Collective. Cool. Awesome.
All right, item 5A, discuss and consider. Discuss and consider action regarding the Pflugerville Park Foundation Memorandum of Understanding.
So, we brought the MOU to y'all in August, and y'all were able to review it as a discuss-only item. We took it to council September 10th as a discuss-only item as well in a work session, so they could provide some feedback. The only real questions were about fundraising, and Sense have been giving us an idea or a fundraising plan of some sort that they're going to start on as soon as all this is in place. And the next step, if y'all make the recommendation tonight, would be it will go to council. It'll be put on the agenda by tomorrow morning, and it'll be posted Friday, and city council will have the opportunity to approve the MOU next Tuesday. So
Did it change from when we saw it? It's, okay, so it's the same.
no
Okay.
changes. So if there's no discussion, the recommended action is that this board recommends it to council for final approval.
I move that we recommend the move.
Thank you, Stan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Amy? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Woo!
Congrats, look at that. That's a long time coming. for sure.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's crazy.
Awesome, so we'll let city secretary, we've already got a placeholder and everything, that we've done everything on our part, so we'll let them know that was approved. And it'll be heard well, actually, it'll probably stay on consent, I believe. Is that right, Jeff?
Hopefully.
It'll be a consent item right now, which means council has seen it, council has had their opportunity to discuss it, and unless they pull it, it'll be voted on in one motion, and y'all will be official.
Rubber stamp.
Yeah. So, good luck Tuesday night.
All right, 5B, discuss and consider action regarding the October 17th, 2024 Parks and Recreation Commission meeting.
So guys, I just don't want to meet. If that's possible, it'd be great. So as of this time, and we usually know what's coming down the pike. So as of this time, we have no parkland development for you to review next month. It's right after NRPA. NRPA is the National Recreation and Park Association. That's the national conference. It's in Atlanta. Jeff will be there. He's a big deal now. Jonathan, Junior and I are also going to go as the side band. We'll all be there in Atlanta that previous week, and we'll be getting back. So we won't necessarily, although if that was the only thing, we could have staff stand up an agenda to be reviewed and posted. But then on top of that, on top of the other things, it's one day before Deutsche Fest. So our recommendation would be to skip the meeting, but we can discuss anything questions that y'all might have before we got to
I was
that.
kind of hoping that we could at least talk that night, we could talk about the 2025 entire budget for the parks plan.
You and I can talk as long as you want. I'll meet you in Pflugerville Park. We'll probably I might have you pick something up every now and then too. Like that. Yeah.
It's a great picture, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So do we
I like
make
it.
a
It was a
motion?
long-
Yeah. If there are no questions, we can go.
I make a motion to eliminate the October 17th Parks and Recreation Commission meeting from the calendar.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Do we have a second?
I second.
Eliminated. It's aggressive.
Yeah. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
So that the boys can play around.
That's right.
All right. I don't think we have anything else. Motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Can I ask a question before we do that?
Nope.
It's on adjourn already.
I know, that was quick. Catch before the clicker hit it.
Very negative.
Hey, seeing that we're part of the Parks and Recreation Commissioners, I'm on the tree planting committee, so I've been going to schools, to talk to schools. So when I go in there and ask permission to get on the grounds, they ask me who I'm with. So I don't have any ID to give them besides my driver's license. I was wondering if we can do business cards for the commissioners. I'll pay for my own if I need to.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get permission. So when you go to someplace, I want to go count your trees, see how they're doing, that kind of thing. And I've run into that, I visited 6 schools and they asked me 4 times for.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, especially at
Yeah.
school. Shoot me an email. It's not really an agenda item, so we can't really discuss
Okay.
it, but if you shoot me an email,
Okay.
we can work on what next steps look like. I think business cards, if approved by whoever has to approve business cards, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Or you could also do it.
A name badge would actually be cheaper, and
Yeah.
when you buy business cards, you buy
Because it's a
500
one-time
at a time,
Well,
and you-
Maybe we
and
get
you
y'all
can't make
polos
several
or something
different
that say
Whatever,
Parks
okay.
and Rec Commission.
Yeah,
or
whatever it
something.
is. Just need
Oh, sure,
something
get
so
all
to
that whole stuff when
identify.
I'm leaving.
We're gonna talk about it. And now we're talking about the thing I said we would talk about.
Stop. See, I told you no.
I did.
All right, motion to adjourn. Do we have a first and second? And yeah,
I
do we
motion
do all
to
that?
adjourn.
Okay, Chelsea second.
Yes, we'll-
Okay, thank you, Melissa. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Not
All right.
anymore.
It is 8:01 p.m.
Awesome. Thank y'all.
15 minutes.